Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today, instead of giving praise to our current president, or kissing his ass as some of you rapscallions in the comments might say, you little stinkers, well, instead of doing that, today we're going to shit on the former president. Barack Hussein Obama was not the kind of gracious president to leave office and mind his own business after his term's up. No, he's nothing like former President George W., who certainly gave that courtesy to Obama when his time was up. And now that we're on the topic of presidents, let's take a brief moment to honor the memory of another former president, another former leader of ours who just passed, George H.W. Bush. Rest in peace. But back to Obama's story for today. As I said, former President Barack Hussein Obama just can't seem to give up the attention, the cameras, and the interviews, and speeches and book tours and whatnot. You name it, and Obama will come out and speak at it. As long as you let the guy riff about hating Trump, conservatives, and America. As long as you give him a stage, Barack will come and speak anywhere. I think he's even doing another bat mitzvah this weekend. I know a former coworker who was invited to it. Mazel tov, homie. But really, Obama seems to be all over the news all the time, and it's been over 2 years since he left office. And of course, from time to time, Obama's also putting his foot in his mouth. Quite frankly, I think he's doing it constantly. And one such occasion happened about a week ago, on November 27th, when Obama made some pretty extraordinary claims, even taking credit for the current trend of lowered oil prices we've seen lately, which are nice and I think are because of Trump, but Obama begs to differ. Here, check out a clip of this video and see what I'm talking about.
I was extraordinarily proud of the Paris Accords because, look, I know, I know we're an oil country, and we need American energy, and by the way, American energy production. You wouldn't always know it, but it went up every year I was president.
Wow, that's some real unpresidential-like behavior, if you ask me. First off, he's wearing a tux, but he's also slouching back in his seat. Obama's demeanor is so smug and entitled, too. Yuck. And he's sitting there lying about his own energy policies. Sure, fuel production was up every year under Obama, but that happened despite of him, not because. Obama's cap-and-trade energy policy almost decimated American energy industries. Gas, coal, fracking, and others, they all suffer because of the harsher pollution taxes Obama tried to impose. Obama even admitted this himself in an interview 10 years ago, where he talked about how energy companies could go bankrupt under his policies.
So if somebody wants to build a coal-powered plant, they can. It's just that it will bankrupt them because they're going to be charged a huge sum for all that greenhouse gas that's being emitted.
So yeah, President Obama wasn't the best guy for the American energy industry, or for any industry for that matter. And it's funny how he thinks everyone will forget that now, and take his word for it on this show. Do people really believe we're seeing success now because of Obama, even though he's been out of office for over 2 years? Give me a break. And apparently, this event from the video, it's at Rice University, wherever that is. I think he said they were in Texas or something. Never heard of Rice or Baker Institute though, but it is nice to see Obama will appear at local and community colleges these days, so long as the crowds will give him credit for everything, I guess. It's kind of like that time we saw Hillary Clinton signing books at a Costco toilet paper aisle. Yeah, these Democrats are getting desperate. We should call them desperate-crats or something. Is that a good? Did I make it funny?
And that whole suddenly America's like the biggest oil producer and the biggest that was me, people. I just want you to.
Cue the smug laughter. This guy must be taking notes from Sargon of Akkad, because the liberal smug laugh is strong in this one. Next, they're going to be sniffing their own farts or something. But really, after all this time, Obama really wants to come and take credit here? What a doofus. Not only is that completely inaccurate and kind of sad, but also, it's just not something a grown man would do. You could tell Barack never had a strong male figure in his life. He's a mama's boy who ended up surrounding himself with a wife and 2 daughters as well. No father, no brother, or anything. The most manly thing in Barack's life is his wife, Michelle Obama. Michelle taught him how to be a man, so that's why Barack is acting like a weak fool. Think about it. Let's just say these claims Obama's making are true for a second. Let's give him every benefit of the doubt and say that yes, Barack is the reason we are successful in America today. Well, even if that was true, Obama is ruining it by bragging and saying, hey guys, that was me. Give me applause and ass pats. Give me some credit and awards and accolades or something. Jesus, this sounds like a child who wants their mom to pay attention to them. Poor President Obama. I almost feel sorry for the guy. Almost.
It's a little like, sometimes you go to Wall Street and folks will be grumbling about anti-business. I said, have you checked where your stocks were when I came in office and where they are now? What are you talking? What are you complaining about? Just say thank you, please. Because I want to raise your taxes a couple percent.
So now Obama is literally going up to a businessman and saying, hey, your money went up, and that was because of me. Say thank you. What the heck? Who does this kind of shit? And then he has the balls to go and say, hey, we are raising your taxes, but this is just a small percent. Right, buddy. What a goddamn joke. Don't smugly ask the audience for your gratitude and then do a Sargon chuckle when you talk about raising our taxes. How clueless can this guy be? Clearly his policies did not help these businesses. In fact, they most certainly hindered them. First, Obama implemented the emissions taxes, which I mentioned before, and then he also raised the regular taxes. As he's saying now, these are two big giant fees, dude, and this is not the kind of shit that helps a company or a business or any kind of people. This hurts them, so if they succeeded, it was despite your policies, Obama, not because of them. Really, what I think is going on here is Obama is overcompensating, and he probably feels jealous of all the success our current president Trump is having. You see, these two presidents, Obama and Trump, they actually both succeeded in a way, just in two very different ways. You see, Obama's success really just meant that the media and the overall liberal-led public, they said he did a great job, when really that's questionable. Really, his track record was dubious at best and simply terrible at worst. So, despite Obama getting his ass kissed by the media for 8 years for being liberal and black, well, despite all of that, he really didn't accomplish much of anything. He didn't really show his success in his performance. He was just told he was successful by everyone else, and we're supposed to believe it. The Obama era also made a lot of things worse. Like ISIS, for example. Islamic terror rose and rose under Obama, and also the racial tensions rose in this country at the same time too. So if Obama wants to take credit for anything, that's his legacy. The reason the left and right and the whites and blacks and browns are all so divided right now is because of him. Next, let's talk about how the Trump era succeeded, and continues to succeed, I might add. You see, Trump's success is much different because he's actually doing a great job, and that's provable and seeable in the economy and the numbers. The president is making America great again, and we can all see that in our bottom lines, in our jobs and the hours we work and how successful our income is. Even Obama himself has proven that Trump was successful. That's why he's trying to take credit for Trump's success. So what that means is Trump's success must be true, because why else would Obama be trying to claim it? And now if you bounce back to the Obama era real quick, you can also prove he was unsuccessful by doing the inverse of this. You see, no one was claiming Obama's success because there was nothing to claim. All of Barack's supposed success amounted to was liberals cheering him on and giving him ass pats for being on their side and being their little puppet. The media, celebrities, TV, and the news, everyone kissed Obama's ass and said he was the best, despite his results and performance showing otherwise. And now they're doing the opposite to Trump, actually. Now the mainstream media is saying Trump isn't doing well, even though he obviously is. It's a pretty weird switcheroo we're seeing here. Things are so flipped up and upside down and backwards and absurd and messed up, it's honestly hard to wrap your head around sometimes. Now, before we go, let's dive into Obama's claim that oil production was going up and thus the prices are going down because of him. An article from factcheck.org begs to differ with that claim. They say this in their rebuttal to Obama's misleading oil boast claim. Presidents, regardless of party, tend to take credit for good things that happen under their watch, regardless of how much influence their actions may have had. Exhibit A. Former President Barack Obama said the fact that the United States is now the world's largest oil producer didn't happen suddenly. Instead, that was me, people. Crude oil production did grow significantly during Obama's presidency, up 77%, but experts including the federal government's Energy Information Administration have said the growth is largely due to technological advances, such as fracking and horizontal drilling. Well, sounds like we got a more level-headed, honest explanation for the growing crude oil production industry and how it's been growing in the US. Obama either doesn't understand this, about how technology improvements played a larger role here, or Obama's just exaggerating to try and get credit for himself. Clearly he's biased and in it for himself here, instead of being humble and in it for what's good for all of America. But just as we've written about a president's impact on gas prices, market forces played a large role in driving that production increase. Oil production did go up through the Obama administration's tenure, but it had everything to do with price and technological breakthroughs that were made by the industry. Tom Clausa, an oil industry analyst and founder of the Oil Price Information Service, told us via email, the Arab Spring led to a long period where global crude prices, particularly for light sweet crude, were quite high, 80 to 110 generally, and that was plenty of incentive to find crude via more sophisticated or, for some time, expensive fracking techniques. The EIA, too, has said the boost in production was due primarily to increased use of these drilling technologies. U.S. crude oil production has increased significantly over the past 10 years, driven mainly by production from tight rock formations using horizontal drilling and hydraulic fracturing. The EIA said in April it estimated that fracking accounted for about half of U.S. crude oil production in 2016. Great, so now we can see this story more clearly. Obama was definitely exaggerating when he tried to claim that was him. This is a lot like what other presidents have done too, actually. Well, Democratic presidents. Bill Clinton and his fellow liberals did the same kind of thing in the 90s. They like to pretend that that decade was so prosperous because of them, because of the left, when really it was again despite of them. The 90s were so great and successful in our country because of the internet boom and other technological advances that surrounded it. So when you hear lefties try and talk up how Bill Clinton and the 90s were so great because of them, just remember that it wasn't because of his liberal policies. They weren't the cause of it. Just like how Obama's policies aren't the cause of our current economic boom either, or the advancements in oil and energy as well. What do you guys think? Is all of the success we're seeing in 2018 because of Obama's policies from 2 years ago? Do you also believe Obama when he claimed it wasn't Jesus who died on the cross for our sins? That was him too. And it was also him when America landed on the moon. Comment your thoughts on everything below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. We'll see y'all next time.